Let's switch back to red, I guess. So what we want to show is we have a number that if we were to cube it, right, and then divide it by 2, we end up with that same number, right? That's what we're showing right here. What we want to show is that the square root of 2, or there's a couple other values that this actually works for, which we'll demonstrate right now. So we just want to solve this cubic, and if you know much about polynomials and solving polynomial equations, you want to get everything to one side of the equation. So let's rewrite this as, I'll just rewrite it. I want the coefficient out to the front. So this is like multiplying by 1/2. So 1/2 x to the third. Subtract the x across. So it's equal to 0. That way I can use the zero product rule to solve it. And it's actually very easily factorable. First thing I want to do, let's actually get rid of this leading coefficient of 1/2. I don't like my polynomials. When I solve polynomials, I don't like them to have a leading coefficient of 1/2. So to get rid of that, let me multiply by 2. And just to be explicit here and showing that I'm not pulling any wool over your eyes, we're multiplying by 2 on both sides of the equation, so that means that it's still a valid equation. Now, distributing over here on the left, this becomes x to the third minus 2x equals 0. Like I mentioned before, we can solve this pretty easily by factoring. Each of these terms has an x, so we can factor out an x. It's sort of like undistributing it here. We're left with x squared minus 2 equal to 0. So, solving this we can use the zero product rule now and split this up and say, okay, this means that either x equals 0, that's one possible solution for this cubic, which, by the way, because of the fundamental theorem of algebra, it's going to have 3 solutions. So we know we've solved one of the solutions right now, and it's 0. If we take the other part of this, which is a quadratic now, x squared minus 2, and set that equal to 0, and solve by adding 2 to both sides, I get x squared equals positive 2, and x is equal to positive or negative the square root of 2. So I've actually shown there, and those are our 3 solutions, by the way, positive root 2, negative root 2, and 0. So what we've shown there is there's actually 3 different solutions to this